Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, Michigan. My name is Stella Anderson, and I am honored to serve this congregation as Acting Director of Spiritual Growth and Development. I am joined in worship today by the Reverend Manish Mishra-Marzetti, our Senior Minister, the Reverend Cassandra Hartley, our Executive Minister, and the Reverend Theresa Rohlck, the Director of the Chalice Bells and our Congregational Chaplain. With us, too, is Carter Smith, our Acting Director of Music Ministries, Allison Halerz, our Pianist-in-Residence, and Mike Halerz, our Technology Consultant. Most Sundays, you can find me in the SGD wing, but thanks to our dedicated volunteers, I have the opportunity to be here with you this morning. If you're new to our congregation, welcome. We're so grateful that you have trusted us with the gift of your time and presence. If you want to learn more about us, please join us after the service for a newcomer welcome in the Jackson Chapel, which is just out these double doors on the right-hand side past the social hall. This is a wonderful chance to meet other congregants and staff, ask questions, and make connections. You can also discover some of the amazing work of our congregation by visiting the social hall tables. If you or someone you know has a sweet tooth, the Young Religious Unitarian Universalists, our high school youth group, are selling vegan apple dumplings through next Sunday. YRUU will use the proceeds to buy gifts for Peace Neighborhood Center in Ypsilanti. In addition, the 8th grade class is collecting donations on behalf of Toys for Tots and the Shelter Association of Washtenaw County. You can find the donation boxes near the main office. Thank you for supporting our youth as they serve our friends and neighbors. If you're not new to our community, thank you for coming back each week and offering the gift of your presence as well. Gathering here is such a source of comfort and joy for so many. In the main hallway, as you made your way to the sanctuary, you may have seen the Tree of Joy with its mostly empty branches, waiting for all of us to make it shine. Please take a leaf from the basket, write down what brings you joy, and add it to the tree so that we can share our blessings with each other. Finally, I want to draw your attention to a couple of events happening immediately after the second service today. The Sunday Fun Day team is hosting a holiday celebration in the social hall with seasonal crafts, tree decorating, cookies and cocoa outside, and a special visit from Santa. The SGD program is also pleased to welcome congregant Pauline Lowenhart, who will read from her inspiring book, Almost Lost: Detroit Kids Discover Holocaust Secrets and Family Survivors. This event will take place in the Foz Chapel in the SGD wing at 1 o'clock and is open to adults and teens. We hope you will join us. On this third Sunday of the Christian season of Advent, we will explore the theme of waiting. Many of our children are waiting for their break from school, or counting down the days until Santa finally delivers on his promises. All of us are longing for the day that we can finally take off our masks and greet one another with smiling faces again. We can find togetherness in that waiting, a shared stillness that resonates in our hearts. In that stillness, there is joy to be found. I invite us to find that place of joyful centering as we move more deeply into our shared time together today.
Good morning. Whether you're joining us online or in person in the sanctuary, I extend to you another warm welcome. As we Unitarian Universalists here in Ann Arbor gather each Sunday, we take a little bit of time to light together the chalice of our flame. This Sunday, Jean Gaunt will be helping us. Thank you, Jean, for lighting our chalice this Sunday. As we bring alive and kindle that flame here in person, we invoke, we bring alive, we invite to be with us the spirit of love, the flame of possibility, the flame of hope, our community's collective longing for all of that, spirit of working towards all of that. Would you join together as we join hearts and voices in saying our familiar words of chalice lighting? We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. Thank you, Jean. We're a community joined together not by any given set of beliefs that we either share or try to impose on one another, but rather a set of intentions that guide us in terms of how we will be together as a people seeking to learn and grow and companion one another in our spiritual journeys. Those intentions, those commitments to one another are captured in our community's covenant. Would you once again join your hearts and voices as we offer to one another these words? The spirit of this church is love, and service is its law. This is our covenant with each other, to dwell together in peace, to search for truth and love, and to help one another. May it always be so.
So as we continue our exploration of finding joy in waiting, we want to share a book called Waiting is Not Easy by Willems. And Stella and I have read this book to our children many, many times, and I think you will soon discover why it's a family favorite.
Waiting is not easy.
Gerald! I have a surprise for you.
Yay! What is it?
The surprise is a surprise.
Oh. Is it big?
Yes.
Is it pretty?
Yes.
Can we share it?
Yes!
I cannot wait!
You will have to.
Wait, what? Why?
The surprise is not here yet.
So I will have to wait for it?
Yes.
Oh well, if I have to wait, I will wait. I am waiting. waiting is not easy. Piggy, I want to see your surprise now.
I'm sorry, Gerald, but we must wait.
I am done waiting. I do not think your surprise is worth all this waiting. I will not wait anymore. Okay, I will wait some more.
It will be worth it.
Piggy, we have waited too long. It's getting dark. It is getting darker. Soon we will not be able to see each other. Soon we will not be able to see anything. We have wasted the whole day.
Well, you see,
We have waited and waited and waited and waited. And for what?
for that.
This was worth the wait.
I know.
Tomorrow morning, I want to show you the sunrise.
I cannot wait. The end.
Thank you, Stella and Cassie. The season that we are in, which is one of anticipation, one of waiting, is also one that's associated with stock taking, looking inward at ourselves. Who are we? What are we striving to be in the world? What do we need from ourselves, from one another? It's in that spirit of stock taking that this Sunday is what I refer to as a Snapshot Survey Sunday. So some of you are familiar with this concept. For others, it'll be new. I'll explain it. Don't worry at all. And as I start to explain some of the instructions of what this is and how to participate, I'm going to do something which is very counterintuitive for me, which is invite you to take out your cell phones or electronic device if you have one with you. For this purpose, it's okay to have it out and on. I am countermanding decades of ministerial training and saying that, but we learn with the times and we learn how to engage with new technologies. So what is a snapshot survey? It's not meant to be a comprehensive assessment. It's exactly what the title implies, a snapshot, a glimpse, something that provides information. And how it works is that it is a glimpse, a snapshot type of tool that is open for the duration of this service that you're attending. So for those who are here in person, it's the survey is open for the duration while you're here in person in the sanctuary. For those who are live streaming, that will likewise be true. Now, if you're joining us on demand, I apologize, you're not going to be able to participate in the survey on demand, but there will be other future opportunities, as this is a frequent tool that I turn to for us to get these little bits of snapshots of information from our community. Join us in the future, either in person in the sanctuary or for a live stream. There will be other future opportunities to participate. You will see shortly, maybe even now, on the screens, the link to go to for the survey, which is www.uuaa.org/survey. We're inviting you, if you're able to participate electronically, to please do that. It actually helps us in sorting through and cataloging the data we receive. If you're in the sanctuary in person and for whatever reason don't have an electronic device or otherwise can't participate electronically, if you raise your hand now, an usher will bring you a paper copy and a pencil. But if you can participate electronically, you'd be doing us a service to be able to try and participate that way. Names and emails are a required part of the survey. We don't tabulate anonymous data. The questions themselves, there'll be 3 of them in this particular survey. The first one is a broad question to help us get a sense of needs, longings, what's actually helpful these days as you are seeking to navigate your day-to-day life, week to week. What types of services, programs, activities, what types of things would you make time in your life for if we at UUAA were providing those kinds of opportunities? Dream, think big, and tap into what actually is arising for you in your day-to-day life. The other 2 questions, the second and the third, are related to the future of our music program, which is currently, as we know, undergoing transitions. So there too, we invite you to dream big. What are your hopes, dreams, desires for our music program? We invite you to please don't worry about trying to write paragraphs or even complete sentences. Phrases are absolutely fine. At the end of the service today, please feel if you're filling out a paper copy, you can hand them to one of the ushers or one of the service leaders, and we'll get the paper copies to the right location. And as always, once we've had a chance to tabulate and sort through the data that we receive, we always report it back out to the community. So for today, we thank you so much for participating in this time and helping co-create our UUAA community, which is so dear to each and every one of us. We'll give you some time now to complete today's snapshot survey.
Thank you again for offering your insights, needs, ideas, and hopes for this community. We are navigating challenging and ever-changing times, but together we can not only survive, we can also adapt and thrive. The people who founded our congregation over 150 years ago did not know what the future would bring. They couldn't have foreseen all the many events and changes that have happened over the past century. They could only trust that as long as people kept coming together week after week and offering their time, their energy, their money, their talents, and their presence, there would be a community that would hold them in the ups and downs of their lives, a community to welcome those who had been traditionally marginalized, a community where people could find inspiration together and explore their own spiritual paths, a community working to make a difference in the world. Today we carry on their work each week, and we trust that we too are building something for future generations. One of the ways that we do this is by collecting a weekly offering. So if you want to give to sustain the work of this community, you can text UUAA to 73256. You can go to uuaa.org/giving. And of course, you can also drop checks and cash in the baskets as you leave. However you give, thank you for your generosity and your commitment to all that we are building together. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we join together to say the words of our dedication. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. Thank you. You may be seated.
I loved opening the Advent calendars I had as a child. In fact, I still love Advent calendars, and I have several I reuse from year to year. Once you found the number that corresponded to the day it was, starting from December 1st, behind each door was a seasonal image, a candle, a snowflake, a tiny Christmas tree. An Advent calendar might have a religious focus, or a winter focus. It might have a piece of chocolate for each day. And nowadays, every manner of secular Advent calendar can be found. Ones with a different Lego toy each day, or a mini bottle of wine, or tea, just to name a few. When I was growing up, in my mind, Advent was all about the countdown to Christmas Day, the birthday of the baby Jesus. And conflated with that was the countdown to Christmas morning and the arrival of gifts from Santa Claus. I never gave much thought to the process of waiting. There was a goal, if you will, a date to arrive at, a birthday to celebrate, toys and food and festivities to take part in. Advent calendars were first used in the 19th century by German Lutherans to reinforce spiritual teaching, especially for their children, with the focus on preparing for Christmas. And behind the doors usually was a Bible verse or a devotional picture. The Latin word adventus means arrival or coming. In the early years of Christianity, Advent had little to do with Christmas. Religious scholars believe that in the 4th and 5th centuries, Advent was a time of preparation leading up to the baptism of new believers that would take place around the time of the Feast of Epiphany. And by the 6th century, Roman Christians linked Advent to the second coming of Christ, the day of judgment at the end of the world. Advent then was a time of waiting and preparing for this second coming by fasting, prayer, and reflection. By the Middle Ages, Advent became more explicitly linked to Christmas, recognizing Christ's first arrival, the day of his birth. Think about a time you have waited for something. In the checkout line at a store, to buy tickets for a sure-to-be-sold-out movie, a ride on the newest, tallest, fastest roller coaster, maybe an appointment for a vaccine, or in line to receive food or water. Have you waited for a phone call, a diagnosis? Have you waited for coffee? Every day we wait for something, and usually the wait time is short. Now imagine you are young, unmarried, maybe standing in the kitchen having a cup of tea, and an angel appears to you and announces that you are special. You are very, very special, and God has chosen you to do this hard thing, and your life will change beyond your imagination. The angel says you will become pregnant without having had sex, and that your fiancé will accept all of this and marry you anyway, and that you have to wait 9 months for this very special child to be born. This is what happened to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Maybe not the tea in the kitchen part, but the annunciation, the announcement by the angel Gabriel to Mary 9 months prior to Christmas is recounted in the Bible in the book of Luke, chapter 1, verses 26 through 38. Mary hears the announcement and she wonders, how can this be? She is wondering, how can this pregnancy physically happen? But I imagine she also wonders, how is it that I am the one chosen? Why me? And she says to the angel, here I am. I am a servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word. Now, after the Annunciation, we learn in the same chapter of Luke, verses 39 through 45, that Mary visits her relative, Elizabeth, who in her old age is pregnant with the baby who will become known as John the Baptist. We can imagine the women probably shared stories about how they were feeling, what they were eating, what was uncomfortable, what brought them joy. As Elizabeth's pregnancy was 6 months ahead of Mary, perhaps she shared hints of what Mary could expect. Other than this one story in the Bible, we don't know what the next 9 months were like for Mary. Then the story picks up when Joseph and Mary were headed to Bethlehem. And this is the story we retell every Christmas Eve, when Mary is just about ready to give birth. So we really don't know what that wait felt like for Mary. But God didn't skip the waiting part, though he certainly could have. I recognize and want to lift up the fact that not all pregnancies are wanted, not all who hope to become pregnant are able to, and that for any number of reasons, a pregnancy may not come to full term. There may be more grief than joy around this topic, and we hold all of these emotions and experiences as true. The element of waiting, though, is present in all of them. My first son was born during the time I lived in Indonesia. I was blessed to have had a relatively easy pregnancy. I was healthy, my child was healthy. But it was a time of anticipation and mystery and waiting. Now, this was well over 30 years ago. There were no ultrasounds available to me where I was, no battery of tests to check for this condition or that one, no way of having photographic reassurance that what was growing inside me was indeed growing and developing as it should. There was no angel to tell me I was going to have a son. So much unknown and months to wait. There was no baby shower in the sense we know it, as a ritual to prepare and celebrate an upcoming birth with gifts and presents and things that parents believe they need. But there were other women, and among them women who were also pregnant, with whom I could share my discomforts and my joy, my wonderings and my revelations. There was a ceremony, a selamatan, which is a ritual to ensure safety and well-being for this new life. There were specific foods prepared that were then given away in small baskets to friends and family and neighbors. There were prayers and blessings. A selamatan offered a more inward-focused, spiritual experience for mother and child. I'm grateful now as I reflect on that experience from so long ago that my life was in many ways far less complicated than it is now. I had the benefit of a Southeast Asian culture's sense of time being so much more fluid. Nothing felt rushed. There was also much less emphasis on all the things that this culture tells us we need. I experienced my own Advent season of waiting that was quietly joyful, and it was a gift to be in that community. Today, in this culture, I have to work much harder to experience that sort of Advent in a similar way. Womanist and process theologian Reverend Dr. Monica Coleman talks about how pregnancy is a beautiful metaphor for a spiritual journey. In our spiritual lives, as in pregnancy, the time can be tiring, worrisome, and frustrating. If all we focus on is the prize, then the journey is a tedious means to a glorified end. We want to get there. We want it to be December 25, the last door of the Advent calendar. We want, as she says, we want spiritual maturity without the prayers and discipline required each day. This season of Advent, as well as any pregnancy, can remind us that waiting is difficult. Rushing to the end can diminish the quality of life. We need time to grow. We need time to learn to live with discomfort and the unknown, not because it makes us stronger, but because it makes us human. What do we do with this time of waiting for the advent of some thing, some new life, some new event? Is there joy in the wait? Is there hope? The poet Jan Richardson reminds us that the season of Advent means there is something on the horizon, the likes of which we have never seen before. It is not possible to keep it from coming, because it will. That's just how Advent works. What is possible is to not see it, to miss it, to turn just as it brushes past you, and you begin to grasp what it was you missed. So stay, sit, linger, tarry, ponder, wait, behold, wonder. There will be time enough for running, for rushing, for worrying, for pushing. For now, stay, wait. Something is on the horizon. We each have visions, hopes, expectations for the future. We have our own individual version of what is behind that final door of our Advent calendar. But collectively, we also have expectations of what is to come. Think about what we as a congregation have focused on the horizon. Are we rushing so much? Are we so focused on an outcome that our vision for the future of this congregation and our world becomes fuzzy, without direction, or untethered? We have agreed to dedicate time and energy to climate justice, to dismantling white supremacist culture, and to embrace radical welcome. Advent can teach us that the work we are doing should not be confused with the outcome of the work, the goal we hope to achieve with this kind of work. There isn't going to be a day when there won't be someone else to welcome into the circle. There isn't going to be a day when we can declare we are done with climate justice, or that white supremacy has been conquered once and for all. As much as I wish it could be so, it will not be so, not in my lifetime, if ever. If we only focus on the prize, the work will seem impossible, hopeless even. If we focus on the work, on the process, on the time we have together, on the relationships nurtured in the work, there we can find hope and joy. And that takes time. But isn't that why we do this? Why we keep coming back to this community? This work gives our lives meaning and purpose. This moment, this right now, is all we have with each other. In 2018, Pope Francis said, "Advent invites us to a commitment to vigilance, looking beyond ourselves, expanding our mind and heart in order to open ourselves up to the needs of people, of our siblings, and to the desire for a new world." In that spirit, let us prepare for a time of meditation. If you would imagine now moving through the snow, leaving footprints behind, or the imprint of your wheels, or whatever way you move. Imagine it slowly, deliberately. And now, if you wish, embody that movement with your hands or by tapping your foot. Keeping pace with your imagined steps. Let your breath be steady and calm. Let that rhythmic in and out of your breath also quiet your mind. Focus on this moment, this very moment, each pulse, each step, each breath. Let go of what's behind the final door of your Advent calendar. Let go of the rush to get there. Let go of any discomfort. Let yourself be surrounded by this music and the silence to follow. As we return from our walk together, does your heart feel more spacious, calm? Did you find any joy in this very moment, even amidst the chaos of your life? Did you find a fierce joy, like Reverend Cassie spoke about last week? Or a peaceful joy, a contented joy? May you continue throughout the day and weeks to come feeling centered and prepared for what is to come. Amen. I love this season of waiting, of preparation, of introspection, a time to call that which is holy into our lives. And one of my favorite Advent hymns does just that. O come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. Now, don't let that word make you shut down to this experience. Imagine God as whatever is sacred to you. Reason, science, the earth, nature, the universe, breath, spirit of love, that which holds all. Whatever it is, invite that into your hearts and minds and rejoice. I'd like to close with the words of, again, the poet Jan Richardson. This is a blessing in the chaos. To all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you, that have made their home in you, that go with you even to the holy places, but will not let you rest, will not let you hear your life with wholeness, or feel the grace that fashioned you. Let what distracts you cease. Let what divides you cease. Let there come an end to what diminishes and demeans, and let depart all that keeps you in its cage. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible, and see what shimmers within the storm. If you would, dear ones, rise as you are willing and able for a benediction. Go now in peace, my friends. May your Advent be a time to discover it's okay to have uncertainty and discomfort. May you be at peace with the waiting as this miraculous life we are living unfolds. May this season give you reason to find and celebrate the joy in the moments you have right now with each other, with those you love. Find the joy in waiting. Amen. Ashe, and may it be so.